Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
My father, he's 75 and has lived alone for a couple decades, fell victim to a romance scam.
Uh-oh.
And he funneled every dollar he had into it.
Oh, my gosh.
And my brother and I, we ultimately did an intervention with him and, cut off that hemorrhaging. But now he's just in a rough place. He barely has a couple dollars to his name, just living pension check to pension check, barely taking care of the bills.
How much did he funnel into it?
About $150.
Ooh.
Can I tell you something? This is the second call that we've taken on this in the last 2 weeks. I was on the last time, John, when a lady called in, and it happened to her mother.
Oh, gosh.
It's just the catfishing. It's unbelievable. Such an awful scam. So how can we help? What do you think is the biggest challenge, or where do you think we can try to give you some practical wisdom here?
So it's super difficult, at least for me. I get super wound up in my own head because, one, I'm involved, and it's very difficult for me to separate, logic from emotion and everything. I think problem number one is the enormous amount of distrust and tension in the family presently, and that goes both directions.
Oh.
This has taken place over the period of about a year. It started out, hey, I met somebody. The question was, well, where? I'm happy for you. Congratulations. And then it's like Instagram. And, from moment number one, I'm like, okay, slow your roll.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little bit cautionary. And then that was immediately met with like, well, why aren't you happy for me?
Right.
So that's the kind of distrust that has been from moment number one.
Yep.
For the entire year, my attitude was, please slow down. Don't do this.
So he didn't trust that
ignored.
you had his best interest at heart.
No, he did not
No.
at all. And for an entire year, I was basically yelling at him, please stop. This isn't good.
Does he acknowledge now that he has actually been scammed? Because the call we got last week, the mom was still believing that
Oh, no.
it was bad. Is he in a place of realization now that he in fact did get scammed?
I don't think it's 100%. I think he's majority there. But for example, he still communicates with these people and has not shut them off.
It's exactly what the last call was like.
So can I get clarity? Is it a person that he thought he was maybe dating? Has he ever met these people in person?
No, never.
Oh, gosh.
And from all the details, and I have plenty of details, I'm an open book, so, I'll provide whatever, and also keep me on track, because I go down rabbit holes. But this was a very, very organized thing. All the transfers were non-traceable through gift cards or cryptocurrency. I don't believe these people are U.S.-based at all.
Yeah.
They use encrypted Chinese chat programs.
Oh, my gosh.
I think it was called
And this
Bangy,
doesn't ring any bells? Here's the thing. And I'm not trying to be ugly, but you've got to be really lonely, I think, to get to this point where it's this glaringly obvious and you're still clinging on to it. So I think
Have you notified law enforcement?
I have done everything in my power. The only organization that would take a report from me was the FBI, and I did indeed lodge that. But in terms of any local or state law enforcement, they've told me straight up that they cannot accept anything from me on behalf of another person.
Got it. So he has to be the one that says something and tries to, because these guys are so organized, you can almost kiss that money goodbye. And so if I'm in your situation, you've got to get to a point where you're going to need some support and help to have an intervention here.
Yeah, because he still thinks he's going to get a return on this money. Is that right?
Yeah.
So the original scam, I think that ship has sailed in his own mind.
Okay.
I think he believes that it's all gone. So I don't think he's clinging to the original idea. But now we're in this weird zone where he's avoiding me, and he's not straightforward to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask him,
he's
hey,
probably ashamed.
Are you still talking to these?
Yeah.
He's probably ashamed, but
and I can understand that.
The question is, going forward, you said he's, spent $150,000 on this. All he has is his pension. How much is that, by the way? What does he get every month?
I think it's maybe on the underside of $3K a month.
Are you concerned that he's not going to be able to sustain himself?
I think that should be enough to continue his quality of life.
Okay. So this is really just how do I repair the relationship? Is that it's not a financial question at this point, yeah?
Well, it is financial as well. Again, he's not straightforward with me about
but here,
what does
John,
he do with his money. And
John,
hello?
John, listen.
Yes.
It's not a financial thing. That's why Jade's asking that. You can't do anything about this. The only hope you have of giving him some financial advice is to restore the relationship. That's why Jade's asking that. I mean, I hate to tell you this. There's very little you can do. I think you have two options. I think it's either a super tough love. I don't know if you've got any siblings. If you did, it's a all hands on deck, come to Jesus. Yeah. We are having a living room fallout, and we're going to take a stand and say, you need to know the facts, and then wash our hands and walk away. Does not, by the way, the come to Jesus meeting doesn't have to be ugly. There's no yelling or screaming, but it has to be a confrontational situation. The other option is you're on your knees praying, and you are just trying to restore the relationship with the hopes that he sees that you respect him still and love him, and then he maybe allows some type of help. I don't know what else to say on that.
I'll add a third option. I'm a letter. I would write a letter maybe, because sometimes when you talk in person, things get lost or people are filtering it through tone or whatever. But maybe sitting down and just writing a heartfelt letter and just saying how you feel, saying what you hope. And that way it's something he can go back to and read again, and keep a copy for yourself, put a copy for him. And that way, even if you start to feel some type of way, you can go back and say, oh, no, I've already said it. I wrote the letter, and it's just kind of that it'll help keep you steady to know I've already said this and I've already let him know it's on paper. He won't forget, that sort of thing. That's the only...
I want to gift you with 2 books. I believe we have them here, Christian. I believe we have them, Necessary Endings by Henry Cloud and Boundaries. And these books, I think you've got to grasp this. You're an adult. He's an adult. There's so much broken trust here and all kinds of wacky stuff going on. And I think you need to be okay walking away. Not from your dad, but walking away from trying to fix this mess. It's not your mess. You didn't create it. And it's not yours to fix. And I don't think you can fix it.
I agree.
So hang on the line. I'll get you some help. We're rooting for you, John. I hate that this is happening. I can't imagine, Jade, anything more sad than this. And again, second time that this has happened. I'm profoundly sad just thinking about an older parent who gets scammed because their heart is lonely.
Yeah.
This is The Ramsey Show.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.